as you learn to be more patient, right? So that's kind of the key in everything the indicators do, right? The indicators are designed to set up trades. And then if you miss a checklist, right, or you're a little more patient, it always pays off to be a little more patient. And you're going to miss some trades. You're going to go a little bit crazy. And then sometimes it'll be a little bit more. But at the end of the day, you have to kind of like have a piece of paper, right? So like a book, a trading book, right? A trading book with your daily notes, right? I think Kale said something the other day. It's nice to, do paper trades, right? You write down what you see and how the trade reacted, and then see how the profits went. But you also want to be in a position like, paper trades are great, but you need to have money invested in order to start feeling the emotions, right? Because the emotions is what carries you away and get you, your excitement or your disappointment, right? So no matter what you do, paper trading is good, but you need to trade at least $5, $10. Do like a $10 trade just so that you can feel the money and see it come in, and that's how you build it up. Like, it's do a $10 bag and build that $10 up to 300, 400, right? And then real that's how you know that you have the system down, right? So it's all about compounding. So let's walk through this again, right? Scenario, right? We're going to walk this trade one more time. It's very simple. First scenario is we get a 1 hour. What's going on, user? Thank you, Danny. Danny, thanks for liking the live, guys. Thanks for the likes, guys. Keep them running. All right, so scenario is first alert that we set is a 1 hour alert, right? Boom. Now we also have what's called the 1 hour trend alert, right? I'm going to slide this over here. I'm going to show you guys the difference in what we have. So these two alerts here, that's the 1 hour moon. This will be the 1 hour trend. I'll make these a little bit thicker. And so we can see the difference of what we're going for and how we play these trades, right? So, all right, these are the two section trades, right? So 1 hour moon, and we have a 1 hour trend. The trend is simply when it goes from green to red so that we know we're in a short position versus kind of like a bull position, right? Now, also, once the trend is green for a while, that's where you can, the red moon allows us to jump the reversal a little bit quicker. So, first alert that we set is a 1 hour moon. We get an alert. Boom. First thing we do to get a trade, we slide to our 15-minute. Why do we go to our 15-minute? Because the 15-minute is the validation. The 1 hour alert is the trade ideal. The 15-minute is the validation of the trade. In order to make the trade, what do you need? You need a 15-minute moon, which we have, and a 15-minute trend, which is here. Now, when that trend hits that 15 minutes, right there, and I'm going to mark that trend right here, and I'll make it blue. That would be the scenario where you would be looking to make a trade. And then on that particular one, the next time it goes 15-minute would be here. 15-minute moon, 15-minute trade. So these are the two entries on the 15-minute moons and the 15-minute trends. You have one entry here and you have one entry here. All right, so now let's break down these entries as we move through them. So we get a 15-minute moon. By the time the 15-minute trend hits, our RSI is at the bottom, right? So I'm going to mark that as well, that this is where the 15-minute trend hit, and this one is also where the 15-minute trend hit. And the reason why this is important is because you need to start to see the difference in volume so that you understand where you're at as far as how to get in and out of these trades. Because sometimes the volume on the RSIs are going to be both at the bottom, but what's going to matter is how much volume is actually here, right? The RSI is not volume. The relative strength index is simply an indicator of overbought or oversold, right? Just because it's at the bottom doesn't mean that it's not going to continue down, right? But this up here is where we need to focus on the volume and what's important. Now, what I'm also going to do here is I'm going to go back to my 1 hour. And what I'm going to do on my 1 hour is I want to put in the times that the RSI for the 1 hour was making its move. So currently here, this is where the 1 hour broke down. And that's where the 1 hour broke down here. And This is where the 1 hour crossed originally. All right, so 1 hour cross, another 1 hour cross, another 1 hour cross down, and this will be where the 1 hour is bottomed. All right, so now back to our 15. All right, so in this scenario here, as we walk through these trades, most important thing is watching volume and learning that. And you got to understand, like every time you trade, guys, you're not, you know, the ideal is to design a system that allows you a win and at least get you into a 7 out of 10 and produces profits for you that you can do 1, 2, 3, 4 and make it happen without, you know, taking losses or setting it up. So when you set the system, if you're trading with 50 bucks or whatever you are, make it the same amount every single time until you move up to a different amount, right? Don't trade 50 bucks, make 500 and then start trading $300 bags, right? What you do is when you trade 50 bucks, if you make it 500, then you move your $50 bag to 100. And then if you continue to win like you're supposed to, you make a $100 bag 150 and keep winning, make it 200. So the ideal is you want to have where you do 300% on your bag and then you increase your bag by 50%. Make 300% on your bag, increase your bag by 50%. Make 300 on your bag, increase your bag by 50% until you get to a comfortable zone of 500 or 1,000 and work your way through there. And then you should be able to get to a point where you're eventually um, working that a $500 bag and $1,000 bag are pretty much pretty good solid bags when you're working futures, right? Allows you to really, you know, get where you need. All right, so here we have the scenario where the 15-minute moons comes in. We get a 15-minute trend. We take a look at our 15-minute RSI. It is at the bottom, okay? As we look forward and it starts to make its move up, right? A lot of times we would take a trade here in this section here because the RSI and the money, right, which is what we're doing, we are negative here in volume. So when the money comes up and breaks and starts to head down, this is a trade that most guys would take because the 1 hour is still almost at the bottom, but you have a 15 at the bottom and a 1 hour at the bottom. So technically, this particular trade would probably be a trade that you would wait on, right? So don't forget that the alerts, this is the first beginning of the alert, right? So this is the first time that we have a 1 hour alert. Now we don't even have a 1 hour trend, right? Which means more than likely you're going to have a bounce, right? But in this scenario, you do have negative volume, which causes you to think that you might be ahead of the big pullback, right? So this is a scenario where with your 15-minute RSI at the bottom, with your 1 hour at the bottom, you might be in a scenario where you want to wait. But let's say that you're playing the 15-minute and you say, okay, the money's pushing up and it's starting to come down here, right? Starting to come down. And all you need is confirmation, right? And confirmation is going to be the entry, which will be the 3-minute moon and trend, right? So in this scenario, the 15-minute is pushing up here, right? Starts to bend here, and your 1 hour is already almost at a bottom. This would basically, if you make this trade, right, which is it's not a bad trade, it's a 70% type trade. We call it a in this scenario, you'd be working a, and I have to look at the RSIs, but this more than likely is a B trade. All right, a B trade is where you're going to expect turbulence. You're not going to hold your positions that long until you know it kind of rolls into what you want. Now, since I don't have a 1 hour trend here, that would downgrade this to what's called a C trade, right? A profitable trade, but you're dealing with percentages that are a little bit against you. But if you're playing and executing properly, you're still in a good position to do what you have to do. Now, as you move forward and you practice these trades and you move through these trades, you know, you're going to realize if you're a guy who can execute the C trade or a guy who can't. And eventually you will say, you know what, I'm going to wait for the next scenario to play out here, right? Now, and me particularly, the two things that are against me here are my 15-minute, which is starting to come down, but more importantly, the 1 hour is at the bottom there, and that would make it a little rough to make this decision, right? So you would need another confirmation of this trade, and we will go look at that in a second. But I want to go to a scenario where you guys kind of get yourself in and how to protect yourself when you're making these trades if you might be missing a checklist, right? What's a checklist? 15-minute RSI in my favor, 1 hour RSI in my favor, 30-minute RSI in my favor. So as we go through this, let's see how it plays out, right? So slide into this. Obviously, we go to get an entry on this. The entry on this is going to be the scenario where we need a 3-minute moon and trend, right? So we already know this has been marked off. This section here is where the 3-minute moon and trend actually hit an entry, and we were able to scalp and trade this little portion here. Now, this portion was able to give us a 0.8%, right? Now, if we're doing a 65% leverage, right, and we'll slide in there in a minute. If we were doing a 65% leverage, then, we would have been in a scenario where we hit our 50% profits or at least moved our stop loss properly to 20 to 30%. So we would have survived this trade, even though the 1 hour was pretty much almost at the bottom there or at the bottom, right? So we would have survived that trade based on how the system is designed, right? Now, the second trade here, we get into a scenario where the 1 hour is bottom and it's moving up against us. Now, we're tracking this trade. We're not paying attention to our 1 hour RSI. It's moving up against us. We see a 15-minute RSI crossing down, so we get aggressive. We get into this trade here. Now, notice here the volume is breaking down again, right? Giving you an opportunity for a trade, and you get aggressive and you enter this trade. Now, once again, this trade is entered on the 3-minute moon and trend, and we can see that we do about a 1.33%, right? Which means if you're doing a 65x, you would have done 65%, 65 to 85% profits, which means you should have moved your stop loss to 20, 30, 40, 50. So you should have made about 50% in this one trade here. Now, once again, this trade has the 1 hour RSI against you. So more than likely, you shouldn't have done this trade. But if you did get yourself in the scenario, you would have survived if you're very tight on how you follow the system. So that would have, saved you there. Now, as we move forward, we get to a point where the trade that we want to get in, right, is when the 1 hour reaches its point where it's pushing up and the 1 hour decides to start to come down here, right? So we see our RSI cracking down. We see that we're coming back into the next scenario, which is we get a 1 hour trend coming up here, but we can see right here that we're starting to see the down of the RSI. The 1 hour RSI is moving down. So now all of it is in our favor again, right? In our favor. 15-minute RSI, 1 hour RSI pumped, and now it's dumping again. And now when we work through our basic system here, we catch a 15-minute moon, right? And we're moving on to our 15-minute trend, right? Which is what we see here, right? So now this trend and this move here puts us back into a scenario where we have this trade right here. So even if you don't catch this full trade here, if you're not tracking the trade all the way, say you're getting in with the 15-minute moon, 15-minute trend, you wait for that to happen, and that'll put you into a trade somewhere in this zone in here. You still have a 6% move here that goes on, and you're able to execute a nice moving trade here, and that actually goes pretty far down. And so we just took half of it as if you weren't making it. But this trade would have executed for about 7%. So you should have made something off that, right? But what made the difference in this entire trade was the 1 hour RSI bounced and started to head down and actually went in your favor. So 15, 30, and 1 hour all in your favor created a bigger pullback, right? But you're going to get yourself in these type of trades because you're going to get yourself in these type of trades because you're going to be set yourself up to where, one second here. Interesting. All right, so I just had to block that VC Crypto Nation 02. Had a dot in his name. So be careful, guys. A lot of fakes out there. So what we're looking at right here is, um, following a trade and then the step by step into a trade, right? The more that we start to focus on the better benefits of getting in there, right? So this is where the 1 hour starts to head down, right? That right there is a trigger to let you know that now that the momentum is pushing down, right? That allows us to get a little more aggressive on the 15-minute moon that comes in. And then more importantly, the volume. So notice here you have a 15-minute moon. The volume is breaking down. The RSI on the 1 hour is coming down. The 15 minutes coming down. That's momentum, right? So when you get better, you'll be better at catching and saying, okay, this is the trade I want to get into because I've got all my momentum. And you can see how it pays off there, leads into a red trend, and then you get that big trade. So that is how to execute this bigger trade here, is learning the momentum process, right? And that is kind of like the key to it. Over here, we had a 15-minute RSI pushing up. The 1 hour was bottomed. Not that much drag. We allowed the 1 hour to actually pull itself up on the RSI, get to here, and then we were able to take advantage of the big move down because this is where the 1 hour decided to push and then come down. But you can see here, that's the momentum part that we want to get into. So as we learn to get a little better at what we're doing, we'll learn to be more patient. And then this will allow us to understand that we can enter on the 15-minute moon prior to the trend because we have the momentum with us, right? So if I go back to my 1 hour, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So you see here, 1 hour RSI, see how it's pushing up there? And then the 1 hour breaks down, right? So that's where the difference of understanding, where you're trading and where the momentum is, right? So there's the momentum push, and then we take advantage of this money coming down. Now, what I wanted to show you was if you're tracking your money, right? Remember, money on the money line here on the 1 hour is going sideways, right? During those trades that you're making, the money's actually pushing up. You see that? So during the time of the trade here, the 1 hour is actually slowly rolling itself, right? So that first trade here, you would be where the 1 hour was pushing down. So it was a slight move. That would have been a trade that would have been okay to take because the RSI was actually still heading down. The second trade that we took, we won them both. The second trade had the RSI actually moving to the upside. Now, the thing about this is, when you're tracking these trades, you never know where this RSI is going to just dump. So it's okay to execute these trades as you're moving in there because any of these trades could be the big trade, right? But what key is you have to, hey, Cal, what up, hey, Victoria, what's going on? You have to execute the momentum, right? Meaning, as you start to watch the volumes play out, you need to get to the position where you're starting to realize that it's okay. Like the worst thing is guys will play a trade, and this is a good track of a trade, right? That's a good track. Here's a second good track, right? Because that right there, that this RSI could have went the other way right here. So it pushes up. This could have rejected right here and could have been the big trade you were waiting for, right? So both those trades are working out when you're following the system and you're pushing them in there. It's okay to break even on these trades. Okay. It's okay to push these trades and break even. You had a 15-minute moon. Your RSI was with you. Here's your 15-minute first one. The 1 hour was with you. So that's a good trade that you made. Here, the 1 hour RSI is pushing up. It could reject right here because it hit the line. See right there? And it could have rejected and came a big trade right there. So this was also a good trade that you got into and working it over. Now, once those two trades ended, and you can see that the 1 hour is actually breaking out, Then you want to sit back and say, okay, I'm going to let this 1 hour play out now that it's distinctively moving to the top and the volume in the money line is pushing up. So now you run that 1 hour up until the money line cracks down, and then you go after the trade again. So that's how you work a trade over, right? But the most important thing is executing the trade for profit or for protecting your position. Okay, it's okay to lose a trade, right? You just want to make sure that when you lose a trade, it's for breaking even, B&E, or for 10% profits, which is, a little bit more, or 20%, take profit. Either way, it's good to do that. Roberta, what up, Roberta? So this is how you set yourself up to where, hey, Grandma Murray, what up, Grandma Murray? And this is why when you're trading, the ideal is it's okay to lose trades. You just don't want to lose a lot on your trades. But most importantly, when you find a trade that is giving you alerts, you know how to execute the little trades, right, that are happening. And then once those little trades don't pan out, allow the reset right here to continue and then get your third trade in, right? So stay with a trade once you find a coin and the alert is happening. Stay with it and track it, and then eventually it will roll into a trade that you want, or it'll become a long and then you can go the other way, right? So either way, you want to be in a position where you're making sure that as you're following the system, you're executing through your system properly, right? And then as you move, there'll be little points and things that you can look at, and you can, identify something that's a little better. Now, the thing that I like to do is when I have an early trade, right? And this is the difference, an early 1 hour trade. A lot of times what I do is I don't even worry about this first section, okay? So when I have an early trade, this first section here, here's the moon, right? And these can pay off. Some of these trades can be very lucrative, right? But kind of like for me, when I have a 1 hour moon or something like this, the beginning of this section here, right? A lot of times I like to take my 1 hour moon and especially if my 1 hour RSI is a little bit higher, I would be trading this position of the trade, right? So for instance, I get a 1 hour moon, right? This is the alert on that 1 hour moon. I go to my 15-minute, right? I have my 15-minute moon, right? A lot of times if I'm in this section, my alert comes in and I see a push. And then right there, you see the 15-minute breakdown, see the money push up, and then it starts to break down. This is the trade that I normally am looking for, is that first push down, right? But this is the system, right? And as you get better, you'll start to see it kind of like evolve. Here's your 1 hour moon, okay? What I want is a push, and here's my 15-minute moon. So this all gives me a trade ideal. But what I want is I want my RSIs, right? So here's my 1 hour moon, the 15 minutes pushing up. When the 15-minute doesn't make it to the top, right, or gets all the way up and starts to head the other way, this is where a trade that I would take the 15-minute RSI on that trade, right? Now that's a trade that, as you get better and you're practicing, you can look at and kind of like take notes. Like, okay, how often does the 1 hour moon and 15-minute moon produce a trade for me in this section here, right? Not a bad trade. Hits for 2%, right? But that's the first beginning of the trade or the first leg, right? So as you get a little bit better at understanding moves like that, this will be something that you can kind of like the quick scalps that we like to take, right? But for me, I like to see a 1 hour move and I like for it to bounce, right? So this is something where, and this is a little more on patient size, right? So this is kind of like for me, let's say I have my 1 hour moon comes in, right? And normally when the 1 hour moon comes in, I like the RSI to do a move, right? And this is normally where you ever hear people talk about an M move, right? So this is normal trading, the M move, right? And for us would be this 1 hour moon hits, We allow the RSI to play down because remember that we haven't got a trend yet. We don't have a trend here. We let the 1 hour RSI play down, it moves up, and then when the 1 hour starts to come back down that second time, this is the trade I like to do, right? So the first one is 1 hour moon, 15 minute with the 15-minute RSI. That's the first scalp, right? The trade that you're tracking here or looking to be a little more aggressive on is allowing the 1 hour RSI to come up. And then when it decides to come back down is where I'm assuming I'm going to get a 1 hour trend right in here, right? And that's the second trade that I take in that section. The other thing that you want to look at here is volume. So when that RSI starts to make its move up and then I see it's cracking down and the money is starting to crack down with it, that definitely signals to me that I can take that trade, right? So when you first start out, you want to be where you watch this first setup here, which is a 1 hour moon, 15-minute moon in RSI, and see how many times that first move pays out. Write that down. Okay. Say, oh, okay, that would have done 2%. Okay. That would have done 1%. See what the average is, right? See if it's worth, you learning to take that risk. The second move is the one you want to execute. Okay. This is the 1 hour comes in, the RSI hits the bottom, it bounces, we take that second move down, and this is the trade we want to do. And this trade normally pays out the biggest, right? So as we move forward as a group inside the Discord, guys, we want to get to the point where we're posting these trades, right? Waiting on 1 hour bounce, right? So if you see a 1 hour moon, you wait for the RSI, 1 hour RSI bounce. It bounces. This is the trade we want to get into. This is the trade we want to track, right? Ends up being the biggest one out of them all. That makes sense, guys, in the Discord. You hear me?
Yes, sir. I actually was in that trade and got stopped out. And then like
Yeah.
10:45 makes a lot of 1 hour trend.
Yeah. So that's where we're getting to the point where, there's a lot of trades that can be made, right? But you just have to decide like, okay, I'm going to take the most lucrative trade, but I'm going to practice this other trade, right? And this is where you kind of like this. So we have what's called a big bag and a small bag, right? Your big bag is your normal bag, your $50 bag, your $100 bag, your $500 bag, wherever you're at. And then you have your practice bag, right? This is your $10 bag, right? This is the bag that when you see things line up, you take $10 and you practice that trade, right? Because it's good to kind of like get yourself in, set your things, right? Keeps you busy. So when you see that first trade happen with a 1 hour red moon, you see a 15-minute moon pop up, the RSI is heading down with the 1 hour RSI heading down. That's momentum. Now, we don't know how much momentum it's going to be because it's the beginning of the move. Sometimes it can be massive depending on where people have their buy orders and sell orders. You never know. You never know how many people have limit orders set on this thing, right? So it's good to start practicing that move because it allows you to, kind of get that, it's like a shoot around, right? You're warming up. So you take that first move, you put $10 in there, you move your stop losses and see if you can get turn 10 into, maybe 100, 2, 3, maybe you might even get 200, 300% out of there, right? And you move it through and then you double up your 10, $15 and you're like, boom, okay, all right, there it is. And then it starts bouncing against you. But now you're lined up, you make sure your leverage is set up, you're on the right leverage, you get all the things set up, and now you're like, all right, this 1 hour RSI is going to bounce here. I'm going to catch that second 1 hour move. And that's all you do. Then you just put yourself on the tracking side. A lot of times you can just go down to your RSI, click on your relative strength index, put add alert. It has crossing on there. I put once per minute. And then at that point, I just kind of like go like this. And now I have a 1 hour RSI alert. I set it. And all I do here is I type RSI and I know engine, it's a 1 hour RSI alert, and I hit create. So now if I'm waiting for this RSI to happen, I make sure I set an alert in case I'm somewhere else. I still get the alert, you see? But I want to come back and track this, right? And you're also tracking those little 15 moves that we're doing, 15-minute moves as they move through. But that's how you find that second move that you want, right? So that's the basics of learning your 1 hour, right? So when you have a 1 hour situation, you have multiple trades in there, right? So the second thing I want to move to here is the understanding of all the safeties we have, right? So the first thing is rule of thumb is trade with the 1 hour and 15-minute RSI. 1 hour and 15 minutes. See, 1 hour, 15 minute. Here, 1 hour is headed up, 1 hour headed down. Trade with the 1 hour and the 15-minute RSI, right? Always better in your favor. So now with the 1 hour headed down here, if you're finding 15-minute RSIs on engine right now, it would be a better time. So for instance, if you were going to short engine here, right, you would be shorting with the 1 hour headed down, which it is, but you'd want this 15-minute RSI to start to head down, and that would create the time for you to actually get into a short in here, right? And kind of see where the short is coming up. You see the money line, if it starts to bend and starts to head down, then you can assume your 15-minute RSI is going to follow. And this would give you an opportunity to trade this particular short if it was in there. So if we're looking at engine right now, we have our 1 hour trend it already hit, produced a trade. We can see that it's bounced already. The RSI is pushed up, starting to come down, and this is where volume is important, right? So on the 1 hour, the volume is starting to push up, right? So for me, I wouldn't look at this trade here because it already happened, and I need the 1 hour to be coming back down. It doesn't seem like it has that much pressure to the downside, so I'd be very weary about that. If I move to my 15-minute, I can see that my 15-minute is still negative volume. If it rejects here and starts to come down, probably going to give me an opportunity to snag a quick 50% gain here. But you'd want to be very accurate at setting your profits to where when it starts to move down, you're just executing the 30 to 50% move. You're just, chipping at the rock. You're just breaking, what we call chopping wood. So just chopping at the tree there, right? But this more than likely is going to start to build momentum in here to a reversal to a long. But we can tell that by the move here. So theoretically, if I was playing this entire thing on my 1 hour, when my 1 hour RSI, the money bounced here and started to head up right there, that's where, for me, a little money bounce right there would tell me, and I can see the RSI is starting to bend there. You see it's fighting right there. That would have been a thing for me to look at my 15-minute. If I have a 15-minute green moon, now it's starting to let me know it's starting to build the other way. So for me, it would be kind of like letting the 15-minute go to its top, letting it come back down, finding its bottom, because eventually that 1 hour RSI is going to switch, and then we're going to be looking for an upward trend, right? So now, because I have a 4 hour and a 2 hour green trend, right? So here, RSI. So now we have a crossing alert on there, right? So now that we have this 15-minute move here and 4 and 2 hour trends, now I could be looking for this reversal, right? So now I go back over to my 1 hour. What am I looking for my 1 hour? I'm looking for my 1 hour green moon, right? And that green moon would trigger me to get into a long trade, right? And that's right here. And we should already have, I think I have an alert on engine for that already. So we'd be looking for a green moon here. And you can see here that we have the 1 hour RSI. See right there? See how the RSI triggered? See the alert? The RSI alert triggered. It lets me know as it just crossed, right? So at this point, the 1 hour is on its way up. The 15-minute is at a top here. So as soon as the 15-minute comes down and resets, I'd be looking to get into, see how the RSI alert's popping up? I let this 15-minute come back down, find its position in here, wherever it ends up, and I'd be looking to get into a long position here on engine with a 1 hour green moon coming up. So now I'm just waiting for the 1 hour moon. All right, so that's how that played out. So let's go to another trade here. AVAX after engine. All right, so let me take a look at AVAX. All right, so here we go. So AVAX. All right, so first things first, take a look at our 1 hour, kind of like our scenario here. All right, let's see here. Oh, you're about to get a 1 hour green moon here. So AVAX in that same situation, 1 hour moon, RSI, we get our move. This actually looks good. Now this one is a little bit different because you have 2 moon resets, right? A moon reset is the trend is already the color and it's about to go back to that color, right? So moon trend, there was our pump on our 1 hour, and let's go through this real quick so we can see the trade that we want. So the original trade that we want is just hunting down our 1 hour, right? So here's our 1 hour moon. This gives us an idea that there's a trade coming in, right? Same thing here. Moon, possible trade, green moon, possible trade. And now we're in the same scenario. Green moon, another trade. Now we're coming back to a green moon. So this actually looks really good. So first thing I want to look is the RSI. It's there. That looks good. 15-minute. The only thing I need here is a 15 moon and a trend. That looks good. So AVAX looks like it wants to pump here. So obviously, we have a 3-minute trend already, so this all looks good. The only thing we have here is the RSI on the 15 minutes a little bit to the top side, which is okay sometimes because once it gets pinned against the top, you're in there. So now this is where you use the 30-minute as an ideal of how much pressure there is to the top. So right now, you got plenty of room for the 30 to go from the 80 line to the 100. So more than likely, it's going to pin that 15 up against the top there. So this right here looks like a solid long position. The only thing I would be going for is I would check my 3-minute, and all I want here is a 3-minute to confirm, right? So now we go to the 3-minute, we have the RSI pushing down a red moon. So now the entry here would be the 3-minute green moon as long as everything stays the way it's supposed to be. So that would put us right here. So 3-minute green moon, let me click on there, add an alert once per minute. I need a crossing. And this would be 3-minute moon. Okay, and I'll set that. There we go. Create it. All right. So now we're on that side right there. All right, let me change this. Engine. I don't need the RSI.
Just got an alert on R-Weave too, PC.
1 hour or what we got on there?
1 hour.
All right, so let's take a look at AVAX real quick and kind of do the breakdown. So we just need to be, as we start to get better as a group, we'll be a lot better at catching the early moves, right? So AVAX here. AVAX here, let's take a look at the 1 hour. And these are the trades that we're looking for. I love the first trade that pops in, right? So first things first, looking for our moons. Here's the green moon. Obviously, we catch our trend. We had a nice little move. Comes back again, green moon, right? See our moves in here, green trend. We get the trade that we want. And once again, moon goes back. This is a moon reset. Green moon, green trend, goes to red, pulls back, and then boom, green moon comes in. That's the trade you want, which is kind of what's happening here. Now, the only difference is because we are on the 1 hour, you can see there's a max to the volume. All right, so this looks like it wants to hit. Now it's gonna spike here, and AVAX is gonna have its move, but it also has where a limit to the volume side, right? So the move that it makes, like just kind of take a peek here where it was here. The move that it's gonna make is gonna be somewhere in between here, which is about a 2% move, 2.5% move. But it is poised to make a move on here. So if you were trading AVAX, this is the one that you'd be looking at, and Bitcoin's also making a move. So longs are in play right now. All right, so you can see AVAX pushing up here. Now just keep in mind you want to execute on the position side, right? So we're always running it isolated. Trade above 65, 70%. I like 75 is kind of like the basics in there. And this thing's jumping on us already. But as far as all that, do your $50 bags or what you're running. And then whatever you put in there, set your orders, right? So click on here, and you're just going to put the basics, right? So we're always looking at a 20 to 25% stop loss, and we're going to put in 50% profits, and we're going to kind of and make sure it's return on investment, right? So when you guys put these in here, I want to cover that real quick. Just make sure that when you put your pieces in here, that you're looking at ROE and it's not P&L, right? Because that'll affect how your indicators actually work there. So, okay. All right, so let's go look at Weaver. Weave. What's the break? What's the ticker on that, Anth?
AR.
Oh, ARB or AR, right? AR. AR is on a long actually. This
It's
is a
just AR, yeah.
All right. So here we go. So obviously we got our 1 hour moon, right? So this is what we're talking about right here. So this is how long ago did that 1 hour alert pop up, bro?
Like 3 or 4 minutes ago.
All right. So Control Z. All right. So how do you are you set on the trend or on the moon?
I'm on the trend.
Oh, you're on the 1 hour trend. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
That's fine. So what we're doing is now, so what we're doing is adding to the trend, right? Is that 1 hour right there. So this 1 hour moon, that's the one we wanted to track there. You see that? So to do the 1 hour moons, you just hover over. I don't know if you were on last night. Hover over the 1 hour moon, right click it, okay? Any moon, add alert, and the only thing you're going to do is on the first thing is the 3 minute cross down. Put it on crossing because you want to know anytime it crosses. So any moon that happens,
Okay.
put it on your
Crossing.
1 minute. Yeah, delete all that, and then all you're going to
Okay.
do here is put
Ro-
the 1 hour moon AR, and that's it. So now what we're doing is
Roger that.
we're jumping the trends now. So the trend is the secondary trade to what we're looking at. So now if you would have had your moon alerts, you'd have been a little bit earlier, but I mean this thing's already from your alert that you had, it's pushing here. So let's go over to Weaver. Obviously it's pumping right now. So A&R is pumping. And let's slide down to our 15-minute. All we need is our 15-minute moon and trend, and obviously there it is. And that would have been our signal to get into this trade down in here. So yeah, these are the trades that we're going to hunt down, and that would have gave us a solid 7% move right there. So here is where I talk about the double move, right? So um, first RSI, you have your 1 hour push here, right? Now I'm going to come back and track Weaver, and all I'm going to do here is I'm going to be looking for the move down, and then after that, whatever the move, what comes after that, right, for the bigger move. So this is where we're right now. What you guys are doing is, the first week was just getting the trends so we can understand what a trend gives us, and a trend is kind of like an alert system that allows us to know that there's momentum building. Okay. Now, the second alert that you add, which is your moon alert, right? So now you would actually got that moon alert about an hour ago, right? So you'd have been a little bit earlier to this trade. Getting the trend alert just lets you know that you're building momentum, right? So same trade, everything moon pops up. Here's our moon alert, right there. All we need from there is a 15-minute moon and trend, which is here and here. So there's our entry point, positive volume we get, and we're on a big move here, right? So that is the basis of it. We just barely missed this big move here. So that was the hot dog right there. So for me, that's the trade that we're going to be hunting. We were close there, right? So you see how we got a trend alert, then we had that little spike there, but now we're kind of sitting where once we got the moon and the trends together, you guys will see where you can track the momentum, and that'll allow you to be a little more aggressive. So if you get into the moon trade and then the trend trade alert hits, then you know that you're going to get a little bit of a spike, right? Now, the thing about the trend alert, I don't have the trend alert on, but how often is it hitting for you, bro? Is it like, um, you have it in the alert logs, right?
You talking to me,
Yeah,
brother?
yeah. Is that on the alert logs? So you have it on you have the moon alert set with, what I'm talking about so right here to the right.
I had trend alerts, but I'm gonna go back and do those as moons, like you said.
Yeah, yeah, you can have both trend and moon, right? So the trend and the moon are just going to
Okay.
give you, corresponding, right? The trend just lets you know, the trend just basically lets you know that you have your momentum building, right? The moon allows you to get a jump on the momentum. So what you would use is if you are getting the trend alert, right? If it continues to show up in your alert log, right? That just means that it's building momentum. So you'd be holding it a little bit longer, right? So is that trend on AR hitting in the alerts? Is it like continuing to pop up? What do you have it on? Do you have it on once a bar or do you have it on once a minute?
I have it set up like under Alf's one alert. I went in there and put in 1 hour green trend and green and red trend. So that's the way I have it set up. I can look on it. Let's see here.
Are you talking about one of the indicators? You talking about the one, like where it
Yeah,
says one
like I'm
alert?
using his indicators to one alert.
Oh, let me see.
So it's just it's on there as any alert. So anytime you get a red or a green 1 hour, it
Okay.
fires.
All right. I'll have to take I'll take a peek at that. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like as long as if it's giving you like multiple, right? That's where you know, seeing if it keeps popping up. So the way when we set it on the
Right.
trend alert, if it stays active like every minute, it'll like continue to hit, right? Meaning that I can
Okay.
hold and I can let that run. But if it's not hitting every minute, right, or every 3 minutes, then I know that we're slowing down and it's a little bit different on there. So
Okay.
put your moon alerts on there, and that's what we're going to be working on here is going with the 1 hour moon, catching a 15-minute moon, and then going for that first move. Now, don't forget, guys, this is just the first move on AR, right? We always expect some type of second move, which is what we're looking for here. And that is when you let your 15-minute, obviously the 1 hour is still pushing. So we let this 15-minute come down here. And then once that 15-minute makes its move, re-entering on that position would be what we'd be looking for on that second push. But yeah, that's fine, man. So we're getting there. Once we got it, once
We
we
take a
get
look at Solana.
Solana, Soul,
Yeah. Soul.
Soul,
Yeah.
baby. Let's take a look at Soul. So once we get everybody kind of tied in there, we'll be in a good scenario. All right. So the first thing, let's jump to
Yeah,
our
because
one
Soul's
hour.
been going nuts all morning long.
Yeah. So the market is slamming right now. I was looking at an article today that kind of like it's what I've been so the way crypto's designed is crypto's supposed to be the anti-inflation, right? Meaning that when the markets go to shit, you should be able to buy crypto and support your funds, right? And every single year, every time the market goes to shit, crypto slowly follows it, right? Which it should not do. It shouldn't do that. Like crypto should be the anti-stock market. So this is the first time that in the last 3 months the stocks have been taking a decline and crypto is actually gaining, right? So it's a very weird time right now, and which what we this is what I've been waiting for the last couple years is for crypto to actually gain when the market goes to shit. That's what we want, right? So this is building in. It's definitely going to be a super cycle. So it's a very good scenario. All right. So 1 hour again. Here's our first 1 hour trend. So if you set your 1 hour trend in there, you would have. Here's your moon, right? And then your trend hit. So obviously that's the trade that we're in right now. Um, yeah. So right now, solid trade until that 1 hour red comes in. Yeah, let's take a look at the daily. So that looks like it's rolling right there. RSI wise, we have our 2 hour RSI pinned to the top. The 1 hour still has space. The 3 hours at the top. So it's definitely overbought right now by a shitload. Um, let's see the daily. But we still have a solid room here. So now as you get better, so if you're a hodler or you're a long time holder, this is where you would be looking more into your daily, right? So you can see here your daily RSI hits the bottom right here, crosses over. That would have gave you on the 20th a good ideal that you're in a good spot here. And all you want to start to get good at in your long holds is how fast this relative strength index on the daily reaches the top, right? So if it starts pumping really quickly and it gets there really fast, then you're gonna be in a very you're gonna be in you're gonna be heading towards a pullback really quick. But right now, I can mark this off here and kind of track it there. So we'll see how it moves. But currently, we'll take that line right there. But here's your daily. Daily crosses over. You can see you got your green moon. So right now, Solana looks really good. Sol looks really good. Let's take a look at what's another one that's kind of like a market favorite. Sol. Let's take a look at render.
PC, can we look at Wild?
Yeah, yeah.
Algo's doing well earlier too.
Oh yeah, I'll go at 8 cents, 10 cents. You should have bought 10 grand of that shit. Let's see. All right, so here's render just crossed over. So render already had a moon. The RSI had to reset, so render looks really good here. So render looks like it wants to push up here. So this market is looking really, really good. I'll go. What'd you say? Which one? Wild?
Wild, yeah.
All right, let's look at wild.
So I've been watching for a short, and the 15-minute just crossed. Now I'm watching the 3-minute start to peak down again. The 1 hour was already headed down.
So you're looking for a short on there?
Yes.
All right. So
what? I think I am.
Yeah. All right. So wild is a little bit different than everybody else. So notice here how wild's in a red daily, right? Pushing down. So wild's kind of on the decline of the market there, which makes sense because it's not going to be a one that it's not. This is a very interesting market because it's institutional marketing right now. These are institutional buyers, which is why you're seeing very specific coins here actually rally. All right, so on wild, if we go to our 1 hour, right? The problem is here is that yeah, you have your 1 hour red moon, right? So if we were going to do a short here, let's walk through the basics, right? So first things first, we get a red moon, right? And that's our first move right there. Okay. So now there's your red moon pops up. You'd be somewhere in this position here. We're going to slide right over to the 15-minute, right? So then the first short that you would take would be a 15-minute moon, which kind of happened here. And you also have your 15-minute trend. So this trade here would have happened somewhere on this particular candle here, right? So we can say if you waited for that 15-minute candle to reset, you'd be in somewhere in the middle of this particular spot, right? So now the problem is your 15-minute comes down, you had your reset, which was the move right here. This would have been the trade, right? So first move happens.
But the 3-minute didn't line up for that trade.
Yeah. Hold on, we're gonna go peek in that real quick. All right, so that would be where we're looking for this little 15-minute bounce, right? So let me take a look at the 1 hour RSI real quick. Okay, so far the RSI looks really good on there. All right, 15-minute, first move, 15-minute moon, 15-minute trend. All right, so you're saying right here on this trade here, the 3-minute didn't line up here?
Not at the time. I mean, the 3-minute's starting to line up right now.
All right, so let's slide over to the 3-minute. All right, so here.
See how the RSI is dipping down, and I'm waiting for that red to overtake the green on the volume.
Yeah. No, the first move was here, right? So here's our red moon on the 3-minute. We already have a red trend. So that would have been the first trade. Now the second trade comes back up. It's the same scenario. 3-minute red moon, 3-minute red trend. So this would be another particular trade that would have came in here. 3-minute moon, 3-minute trend, and that would be that next pullback that happens. So now on this next move here, you should be lying. This should be a short coming in here. Yeah, you should be good. So here's your 3-minute. Now you have your 3-minute moon coming in. You need a trend. Now the thing about this trade is that kind of makes me weary is like once a trade kind of has kind of filled up, I like to have healthy servings, right? So if I go to my 15-minute, now this is pretty decent here. You got a lot of 15-minute room here. So you should be able to pull that back down to at least that other section. So yeah, it's just a tight trade, right? So for Wild here, I wouldn't take this trade because it already had two trades, right? And the second thing is I would look at my 1 hour and I'd say that my 1 hour is already towards the bottom, you see?
Well, shit. I already took it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Just make sure you put your stop loss in there, keep it tight about 15, and then what's your leverage?
I did 75x.
Okay. So do your leverage in there, keep your 15, 20% stop loss and set your target for profits at about 30 on there. But see, this is where I like to have like a full 1 hour run, right? Because this 1 hour is kind of already at the bottom. The only thing that I could use and say, okay, it could move forward is, eventually it looks like Wild's going to keep going down. So it looks like it's going to continue to be a
Mm.
short, but you just the 1 hour has to bounce there. There's not a lot of um, full movement there. So I like to run with that 1 hour. But it does look if you're in this position going forward, eventually it does look like Wild is going to go down. It just you're at the point where once you have volume, and let's look at the 1 hour, right? So once you have the volume already negative, right? So this is a juicy part of volume. So what volume tells you, right, is that there's money to take, right? So this volume right here says there's money to take, and now the volume is down here, and you can see where we're starting to get the point where you see how this money it gave up already. When it came back,
Mm.
it didn't really build up again, you see? So it built up, and then that's the first trade. Now, once it pulled that trade out, we're about even in the money section, right? So is this going to continue to fall? I think, Wild, if you put a 10x trade on this and you held Wild for the next month, you'd definitely make money, but it's going to be a slow bleeder, right? Because it's already kind of gave up, right? Because there's going to be where people have to hold their entries, right? Bag holders, right? So sometimes you get caught
Yeah.
where bag holders are, where they were jumped into this trade somewhere in here, and then they didn't get their profits, or they jumped here and it's already where they entered and then it's below their entry. So there's a lot of guys here that are probably holding Wild in this section here, and expecting it to do something, right? And that's kind of like you're stuck in the middle of
I don't
bag holders.
usually. I don't. I don't usually hold them that long.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm
So
just saying, like when you're looking at a market, how to kind of like, for me, if my 1 hour is already down here and I'm kind of already negative here, if I look at my money trend, like, okay, so you see how the 1 hour money line is flat, right? Like to me, there's not enough meat on the bone here, right? So I would want the 1 hour to bounce back up and try to give me some type of meat, and then I would take that second leg, right? So I would expect Wild here to, come up a little bit and then give me something to actually like take advantage of, because it's already the 1 hour's already played its move, right? So you're kind of on on the slow end of the trade, right? So that's kind of where the issue
yeah.
is, and
I just got popped out anyway.
yeah, and you're also trading a coin that's probably not it's probably not getting a volume like something like Solana, AR, Render, the coins that are,
I don't know how to find the right coins. To be honest with you, man, I think I've lost probably. I don't know, maybe 8 out of 10 trades for the last like 10 days now. So the coins that I'm picking are terrible. So,
well, you just have
and
to,
I have like a list.
pick
I
your
have a list
trade.
of 20 or so, and I just don't seem to be finding the right ones. I go by coin market cap.
Hmm.
I look at the different coins, trying to find the 1 hour crossing. I mean, I've got like 7,000 alerts set. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, you need to
You
simplify,
know,
right? So when you have a coin, right? So this coin is trading, right? It's just that once it has its trade, you got to kind of like move on, right? So here's the first thing. So let's look at Wild, right? Let's look at Wild, for instance.
so
Now,
to me, I looked at that and I said, okay, the RSI crossed, and it still has some room at the bottom.
yeah, but so okay, so this is what I mean, right? So All right, let's go through Wild and take a look at like just over its last history, right? So the first thing is trades that we want to take, right? So if we're setting alerts, okay, we're setting alerts on here, we're doing 1 hour moons, right? So way back here, we get a 1 hour moon, we get a 1 hour trend, we obviously get our pump, we get a red moon in here, we get a little bit of a pullback, the RSI comes down, and then that's pretty much it. So this is where we would be waiting for the RSI to kind of retrace, and we try to get this second move here. Now it's okay to lose trades here and there, right? So this trade doesn't, it pans out a little bit here. Now, if you're playing your system, you're gonna that's definitely probably going to be. I've never measured Wild, but I'll do it right now. Okay, yeah. So you're going to be all right in there. So Wild has, not a bad coin to trade. So you trade your RSI, pulls down, and then goes on its move up. Now, if you're tracking this trade, there's a 1 hour RSIs that pull down, you got it. There's a second one, you would have got it. And then eventually the RSI pulls up, and then you get this big trade that happens, right? So Wild's not a bad coin. It's just that once the 1 hour gets below the 20 line in this area here, is where you need to just, you have to start allowing it to bounce, right? So now if I go through that and I look at my trend, here's my trend comes in, that gives me that extra trade, right? That we were looking for. So here's our
Is there a
trend.
way that I can set an alert for the 1 hour RSI to only alert me if it's above the 20 line? That way I don't waste my time.
It should have, okay, so if you put on here, let's see. Okay, so add alert. So they should have, I do crossing, but here, moving up percentage, moving down percentage, right? So let's say moving up, right? So now you can put your percentages here. So moving up 1% in 2 bars, right? So there's, 1%, or you can say, okay, I want to know when the RSI moves up 1 point, and you'd have to mess with this
Well, I
because
don't want the percentage, right? Don't I just want the 20 line? I just want it to tell only if it's above the 20 line.
yeah, I don't know if the RSI has a specific, um, let's see
There it
here.
is, greater than.
Yeah, let's see, greater than value,
Oh, but that won't also cross it though.
right? Yeah. So, but what you want to focus on here is
That won't.
like when you're digging into the meat of the trade is knowing. So I think your problem is that you're in a coin, but you're not picking the trade. You're not looking at the trade. You're not letting the trade redevelop, right? So, for instance, here, right? So when we have our green moon, we have our green trend, we had a trade. The red moon and a red trend gave us another trade. So, I mean, the trades are hitting here, right? And when I come here, I can see how there's a green moon, right? There was a pump there. I don't know if the 15 was there, but here's our red moon, right? Comes in. Now, as we look at this trade, you get a green moon, green trend pumps up, and now we're in a scenario where we're looking for your trade, right? So if I look at this trade, I have my red moon, I have my RSI. This is where I would have want to been in that trade. The fact that my 1 hour is way down here is where I would not be in that trade. So what you want to do is you just want to be more patient, and you just want to find where the RSIs are all in your favor, right? So if the 1 hour is already below the 20, I'm not taking that trade, right? You need to be more like just saying, okay, I want to catch, and it's okay to miss a trade. Just go back and look at it and say, okay, where would I have got this trade, right? And you have your wild red moon, right? You go to your red moon, you go to your 15-minute. How would this have worked? I got my red moon. Here's my 15-minute moon. Here's my 15-minute trend. That would have been the trade I wanted to be in, and guess what? You would have hit your trade, right? So you hit it there. The 15-minute RSI bounces, comes back down. You would have hit it here, but that's pretty much it. Now, the thing is that Wild is going to go down here, right? It's just that you're at the end of it, so it's going to be a very slow move. So when you go to your 3 minute here, your trade is correct. You're just a little bit off. So now you have your red trend, right? So you're in this. Are you looking at that? So now you have your 3 minute red trend. So it's going to move down for you here. I just don't know, if there's a lot of, if this was a trade I was doing, I'd probably look to hold this for, do like a 10x and put it on something like you know until that daily trend. But you're what the one thing that I noticed about you is that you're getting your trades correct. You're just not you're just jumping a trade, right? So you see how, hey, lunatic, what up, baby? So you see here how that trend came in right there, and then okay,
Mm-hmm.
so do you know how to enter on the 3 minute, like the 3 minute candle? All
Yeah,
right,
the
so
moon and the trend.
oh, okay, no, the candle. All right, so you see how the time is 12:30, 12:32, right? So the 3 minute candle comes
Right.
every 3 minutes. So the candle would hit on the 30.
What you wait like 45 seconds or something like
Yeah, just
that,
as
or
long as it's 2 minutes into the 3 minute candle, right? So now this candle right here would be where we'd be looking to enter for that. But the prior candle would have been at 12:29, which would have been somewhere in this zone here, right? And this is where your trend came in. This is your candle. So you're right. The weirdest thing is that you're right on the fucking trades. Your execution is the only thing that's really missing, right? So see, you're right on the trade. Now, how far this is going to go? Like I
so
said, I mean,
I would have been right again, but yet I got stopped out on the first time. So
right. So when you entered the first one, did you have a red trend on your 3 minute?
I did, and it blinked and it turned right back off. I was so pissed that I saw the red trend. I waited, you know, whatever.
Okay, yeah. So for this would be like when you got that blink, did, did you look at the time of where the candle was, or did you just see the blink and then you went to your entry?
Saw the blink and I went to the entry.
Okay, yeah. Just make sure that next time if you see a blink happen, right? Look at the time and use your 3 minute thing, right? Like
And
enter.
now it's too late to enter the trade. If I go chasing the trade, it's going to turn and go right back up again.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm
After
saying. Like
this
you're at
little bit.
the bottom of your 1 hour RSI. But I mean, I look at your trades and like you're on your trade. It's just the execution part, right? And this is just the
I didn't even
tidbits.
know you were looking at my trades. You never say anything.
Yeah, no, I mean like even here, like we
I
looked
wasn't
at here,
sure.
the RSIs is just, your 1 hour is all the way down. So here I would be looking
Mm,
for like the reversal of this, right? But I mean, you're on your trade here, so let me see. Let's see where it is here.
I
It,
just
it,
fucking
it's
bought
just it's
decent
just
trades, man. I've lost so much fucking money. It's ridiculous.
yeah. And are you trading with? Are you still trading like with $5 only? Stay with $5 until you can kind
Now
of
I am. I was trading with like $100 and stuff like that, but I
yeah. Stay with the $5 and $10 is the max, right? So you're getting into your trade
yeah.
zones. You're just kind of jumping a little bit, and you got to trade with the 1 hour RSI, right? You just got to let that bounce. You just got to be patient. Now you're going to miss some trades, right? It's okay, right? The majority that you miss, the three that do well are no comparison to the six that don't do well. So don't watch one trade happen and be like, "Oh, I knew it." Right? Don't your gut isn't the way to go. Right? So it's okay to lose some trades. Just stay focused on walking yourself through there, right? So this one right here, I mean, you're getting a pullback, but I just don't, it's not a valuable pullback, right? I don't think it's going to have where, I mean, that pullback right there is only worth, I think we did like a 0.5%. So it's, you know, I don't know how much that's going to pull back, but
Well, let me ask
I
you.
don't think that would be worth a trade right there. And that once again is just because my 1 hour is almost at the bottom, right? So for me, the difference here is that I would be looking for, the 1 hour to bounce, and then I would be getting into that trade on the next move there, right? So I
So let
mean,
me
what?
ask you about Link real quick. Just you don't have to analyze the whole coin. It's above the 20 line. It's definitely above the 50 line, and it's got a red moon on the 1 hour, but it hasn't yet done a red trend. Um,
Do
I would be
you?
watching that to do the red trend, and
Okay.
then look at the 15-minute, right?
So you have a red one. You have a 1 hour red moon.
Link, yeah.
All right. So let me take a look here.
But the RSI just crossed, and it's kind of going sideways for a second.
Okay. So you're still on candles. Go to your candles. Are you on the Haki Nashi or are you on candles?
No, I'm on candles.
Put them on the Haki Nashi.
I didn't like Hakinashi because it didn't give me a true representation. But
Well, then if you're gonna if you're doing candles, right? They're gonna trigger a lot earlier than Haki Nashi. So when you say they didn't give you a good representation, like what were you meaning? Like you felt like they were showing you some.
like sometimes the Hakinashi will fill in, and I'll miss some candles.
Okay. All right. So for instance, all right. So let me look at the. So if I put this on candles, right? And the difference is the reason why we use the Haki Nashi is because it's going to do that, right? Because the majority of the time it's going to wait for the true move, right? So here I have a red candle on my 1 hour, right? So now, say if I'm using candles, right? So candles has a 1 hour that popped up at like 7 a.m. So now I go to my 15-minute, right? So let me see. Let me log this in. Okay. So my 1 hour pops up here. Go to my 15-minute right there. Okay, 15-minute moon. All right. So it's a little bit behind there, but we need a trend wise, right? So the trend came in, and these are just going to be off a little bit here, but trend comes in. We get some bounces. RSI is at the bottom. We let it come up, and then this would be normally where we would take a trade. Yeah, I mean I mean for real, I would move those to Haki and Ashin, and then just go work with those because they're going to be a lot cleaner. They're just going to be a lot cleaner on the moves. I don't know if I trade Link. Hold on, let me see Link. But let me take a look. So first thing I want to do here is look at chain link and look at the 3 minute moves. And all I want to do is make sure that there's some money in here, right? So on this 3 minute move, let's see, this baby move here, we got about 1%. And really what I'm doing here is so I'm going to go to the 3 minute trends, right? You see how there's a 3 minute trend here? And I want to know if this is worth trading, right? So let's say that if I was trading the 3 minute trend, right? 3 minute moon, 3 minute trend, right? And this is the max that it would have gave me, right? So that's about a 0.5% gain, right? See what I'm saying? 3 minute moon, 3 minute trend from here to here.
So would it be better to do longs on this particular coin?
Yeah, man, but I mean, so what I'm trying to do is I want to know if these shorts are, when they do like these, it looks like a big move, right? So if we look here, there's pretty big move, right? But when I look at them, they're under 1%, you see? So normally what I want to do is when I make a trade, if that 3 minute, I want that to be about 1.5, 2% moves, right? So, Chainlink is kind of like a lot of times on its little moves, which is kind of what matters, is you're not getting the percent that you need to be profitable there. So, yeah, if you're doing Chainlink would be a little bit different to where you would be playing.
I've never even traded Chainlink. I was just trying to find one with a 1 hour crossing.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't trade Chainlink. So, go to let's see. Let's go to. Let's go check out Big Time real quick. All right. And you can go as soon as. So go to your Discord. Do you ever go to the Discord and look at coin alerts? All right. So
I
on.
do all the time.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. We looked at Solana. That's in there
Sometimes the alerts don't update for a long time though.
on the coin alerts. All right. 1 hour crew. Let's take a look here.
Yeah.
All right. 1 hour
Al
engine.
said he's working on it.
All right. Today. Matic move. Yeah, he's got to move it from. He's on the wrong. He's on the wrong exchange. All right. But either way, they're going to roll through. All right. So if you're looking at something, coins you've never seen before, hop in here. So right now we have a FET 4-hour RSI oversold, Anchor 2-hour LP. We have a 1-hour red trend, right? So these are basically, let's go look at FET real quick. All right. So I'm going to jump in here. Big time looks like it's heading towards a green moon there, right? So let me right click, put this in here, and I want a moon. All right. Okay. I want a
So you set
crossing.
an alert for a green moon.
Yeah. 1 hour green moon. Okay. Enter. There we go. All right. So that's what I'm waiting for on big time. I'm going to go to FET real quick. Let's see what we got here. So I'm not getting a lot of alerts right now. So I've reset some of my alerts here, but we should be getting some. Okay. So here's a 1 hour on FET. Now, obviously, here's our 1 hour red moon. There's that short, and now we're stuck in a second move, which is the 1 hour push, and that would have been this second move. And
Your
now
audio keeps dropping off. DC.
the volume.
Your audio. Yeah.
Yeah, so first move, man, is always the same, right? So red moon, here's our first move. Our let your RSI reset. It did here. Second move already happened. So to me, this is kind of like we're getting another 1 hour push here. So it looks like it's starting to, continue with its short move. RSI pushing up. So it looks like it's going to be a continuation of that, right? So now we go to our 15-minute, see if it's anything worth looking at. And currently, we're in a green moon, and it looks like it's just consolidating here. So once we get a push up here on the 15-minute, we could probably look into getting into a short. But once again, we're at a point where FET is kind of like already made most of its moves. So here I would be looking for just to consolidate, and eventually the trade that I would want to get into here is a green moon and looking to go the other direction here, unless there's an RSI that gets all the way to the top and then starts to come back down, right? So I needed to give me a little more on there, right? So it's already done, right? That's kind of the way you have to kind of look at it. And I don't want to trade trades that are already kind of like exhausted. There's too many things there. So let's go to coin market cap, right?
Shouldn't we look for,
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Let's go to coin market cap and
shouldn't we look to the longs, because Solana just blown up, and you got dots blown up. All of the altcoins are now pumping,
mhm.
because the Bitcoin dominance is dropping down.
Yeah. We're moving towards an alt side, right? So we have Near Protocols up 18%, Polkadot, Algo 7%, APT 3%, right? So we got Ches at 1%, top losers, right? So this is where we want to look. So HTN took a 12% loss. FET is down 8%, so that's a good look for FET. Beam is down 8%.
Wait, we
So
want to look at losers?
well, yeah, I mean, so you have two options, right? If you look at the biggest losers, then you can look to where you can get your longs. If you look at the biggest gainers, you can look to where you get your shorts, right?
Okay, I thought we were looking for shorts. Okay,
Yeah,
makes
yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah. We're gonna go through both of them, right? So right now, as we go through here, we can kind of pick out which ones have already lost, right? So this is kind of what we're seeing here on FET. We're already down 8%. Render's already down 4%, right? So that's kind of where we are. So Satoshis, Ave, Woo, right? And let's see here. All right.
I've been watching Blur, but it's not ready.
All right. So now let's go up here. Near protocol. Near is at 18%, right? Let's go look at Near real quick.
But I thought if it's at the very top, we want to avoid those because of manipulation.
Top of what? All right. Let's see here.
Top of the coin market cap.
Are we talking about on top gainers?
Yeah.
Mm, I mean, every coin has manipulation in it. All right, let's take a look at Near. So Near has the biggest gain. Polkadot has its big move. AL, Solana, 13, OP, Phantom. Okay, so let's go take a look at Near Protocol. So Near is obviously pumping the hardest. Let's see where we're at. Near, right? Daily. These things are, and this market is juicy, man. Jesus. And Near's got a 1 hour daily. Oh my gosh. So we'd be looking for a red moon here on Near. So that's the one you can set your alert, right click, put a Near protocol on there, set an alert, put a Near in there. Near obviously is on the top of the list. You're going to cross over to crossing once per minute. Slide this over. 1 hour moon. And there we go. Enter. There you go. Near protocol. All right. So we'll come back to Near protocol. It's pumping. AVAX has finally made its move. Flying now. All right. All right. Near protocol. So, Cal, were you watching your AVAX? All right. So, 1 hour moon. So, Near's are one to look at as far as like pushing that down. Polkadot's already up. That's one we can look at as well. But the market's hot right now. So when you have a hot market, you can look at your biggest losers and also look for your longs there. So they gotta have some type of movement there. Litecoin is probably going to be on the mix there. Graph, Blur. You're watching Blur for what, a short?
But no, I was just watching Blur at one point. Why did you get into AVAX just now?
AVAX was he called that out earlier. That's why I was looking at Cal. So if you go to your Discord,
in it?
Yeah, we were in it earlier tracking it. So if you go to your Discord, he was calling the AVAX 1 hour earlier.
I didn't know that you were already in that trade.
Yeah, that was kind of like the first one we looked at. So right here, so on the Academy, AVAX right here. See, AVAX long. See. All right, let's see here. I wasn't really like tracking it hard, so I just set an alert where the
Shiba is also looking to get up.
which one?
Shiba have a very good pattern now. Shiba Inu.
Shiba. Shibi. All right, let's see.
Shiba.
Love Shiba. All right, Algo
If you look at the chart
7%.
on this.
Rose, Polkadot. Let me see here. So what's right now? I mean, I would be looking. These shorts are probably going to happen tonight. I wouldn't be looking. But right now the market's picking up right here. Here's LDO. Let's go look at LDO. I haven't looked at LDO in a minute. Sandbox, Matic, Chills. Hint. So Helium, FET. FET is due for a long. Helium, B chain. Yeah, so you can set alerts on your 1 hours, man. You need your 1 hours on Near Protocol, Polkadot, Solana, OP, Phantom. What else? Algo, AR. We looked at a little bit earlier. Avalanche. You just want to make sure when you're picking your coins, you just go to your 3 minute, make sure that they're actually like profitable wise. Let's see Near Protocol, but this market's kind of like hot right now. So if you're going to do shorts here, you want to kind of like you're in a bull market right now, so they've got to run their course here. Let's see. Near Protocol. So Near looked like it wants to continue on. What else were we looking at? What'd you say, Shib? Sheeb.
He said ship it. Yeah.
Sheeby.
Yeah, the chart looks if it was monster.
Right, you just need your moon. So now you got a red moon, it pulled back, and now the RSI is at the bottom. So you just need a green moon. RSI, 1 hour is in a good spot. Shiba is burning tokens. Shiba's burning tokens, baby. Yeah, they've been burning a shitload of tokens, man. Shib's burning a ton of tokens. So if you're looking for shorts, bro, go look at the things that were pumping. So go look at AVAX, go look at Near Protocol, but Near looks pretty strong there. So take a look at AVAX real quick. See if you have any red moons coming in there. So I would look at AVAX for a short. I would look at Near Protocol for sure. OP is a good coin. You got a little time on Sheeb. It's
Yeah,
just
take some time.
it's just consolidating, but I mean it doesn't look too bad. I mean it's getting possible 15-minute moon. It just looks a little weak right here, man. I mean it just looks like it's going to push up a little bit, but I think we're going to come back down to this support line first. I would look at SHIB more like finishing a short because you got your red moon 15-minute RSI just top, so SHIB should actually pull back here, which is probably what we're going to see here. Yeah, which is weird because everybody says they're burning tokens right now, so more than likely they'll take profits, burn tokens, and then get back in. Yeah. So right now SHIB is the weaker of the bunch. All right. SHIB's weaker right now. So let's go over here. Let's take a look at AVAX right here. All right, what do you got on AVAX? All right, 3-minute moon, 3-minute trend. All right, pullback starting, 1 hour. All right, so 1 hour is pushing here. So I would wait on AVAX. We need the 1 hour to bend down and a moon. But these should be getting weaker in the next couple hours here. 1 hour moon. So set your 1 hour moon on AVAX. That'd be a good coin to go in and short. Near protocol as well. But you gotta let these RSIs play out. The link tree isn't working to join. Oh, so here, send me an email, bro. Send me an email. vccryptonation@gmail. Send over an email. All right, 1 hour candle. You got me, Danny? Send over the email. It's send it to vccryptonation@gmail. All right, where's our 15-minute? Okay, 15-minute red moon. Not yet. All right. Yeah, so AVAX, look out. So AVAX had that huge candle, and I just kind of like sold out there. Mm. So that's a good sign for you on a short. AVAX pumped hard, pulled back real heavy. Now it's going to push back up again, but that just lets you know that it's trying to find a new push. So wait on your AVAX here. I would hunt AVAX down. What else? Top cryptos. Polkadot, AL, Solana, OP. Let's go look at OP. OP.
The Polkadot doesn't have any entry for long.
Where's the RSI? Where's the 1 hour?
The 1 hour just had a came down and just crossed now upward. And 15 minutes it doesn't. Yeah, it stays up on top. Doesn't Look like green, man.
So you got different Discord? No, Anthony, we got one Discord, big dog. One Discord, bro. One Discord. If you guys are, if you're hitting the link in the bio, just send an email, vccryptonation@gmail. One Discord, bro. One Discord. Yeah. So if you have your 1 hour, so here, like just like OP at a 1 hour RSI push up right there. There's another push. Right. So now this is gearing up to where OP looks like we could be getting into a short here. 2 hour RSI is overbought, 3 hours overbought, 4 hour is overbought. So I would put on your list, bro, put OP on your list. It's probably going to be the first one that kind of comes in. But look at OP's daily though, man. So eventually here on OP after this next pullback, OP's looking for a daily green moon here. So OP would be a buy here in the long run. So if you're a hodler, this would be OP. You'd be looking at OP on this next pullback.
Day for those. Also green moon coming on.
What's your Discord name, bro? Anthony, what's your Discord name, dog? What you say, Polkadot? I don't trade Polkadot. Let me see. Take a look at some of these. Oh, here goes Engine again. See how Engine's right here pushing for this 1 hour long here? Mr. Smith. Hold on, bro.
But the OP, which was pumping, you were saying look for short when 50-minute red moon comes in?
1 hour. 1 hour.
1 hour red moon.
1 hour red moon. Yeah. Mr.
Then you have to wait like 2 hours or something.
Yeah. Well, it all depends on. Try now, brother. Yeah, so all these coins right now we're sitting in this is a solid these are all pumps right now. So shorts are going to be a little bit later tonight. Right now you're in the middle of the times, right? So shorts go to about 11:30, 12 o'clock, and then longs go to about 2:30. So now right now you're in the long positions. So look for your longs on all these.
Can you please look into LDO?
Yeah, we just saw that alert on there. Hold on. Are you looking for a long or short on that one?
LDO long, but I don't know if that's.
What was the I just saw LDO somewhere. Is that on a coin?
Nice candles, big ones.
Hold on.
On,
No, was that in the coins? Hold on. The coins. Let's find here. LDO. Was LDO in here? Ah, here we go. We got Anchor. We got APT. LPT. That's the one I was looking there for. All right. So here, Anchor, RSI, oversold. Let's go look at Anchor real quick. So right now, I wouldn't be looking for shorts right now. Market's pretty hot right now. So LDO, what do you got? Okay, yeah, you got your 1 hour pushing up. You still need your 1 hour green moon, so you got a little bit of time here. You have a 15-minute. Yeah, so you see how that rejected your 15-minute right there? That's going to have a little bit of space there, but I would say I'd give it a little bit of time on there. What do you say, brother? All right, so 1 hour LDO, you got a red moon. There's the first pullback, right? So actually LDO, I'd be looking for a short. So you see how the 1 hour RSI is moving up here? I'd be looking for a pullback here. So if LDO RSI starts to head back down, I'd be looking for a short here. So if you're looking at a short, man, here you go. Here's one for you. Driven.
Yeah.
All right. So take a look at LDO. All right. So see how LDO, here's your 1 hour moon, right? Okay. Boom. First move happens. RSI comes down. There's a push, right? So now we're waiting on this little bump that's happening in LDO. When that LDO 1 hour starts to head back down, which is the money side, not quite yet, but when that starts to head back down, that's going to be our short. So slide to your 15-minute, okay? You already have a 15-minute moon, right? You just need a trend. So right here, first 15-minute moon and trend happened. There's the pump. We're looking for the second one. RSI is crossing over, right? So it's starting to get weakness. Slide to your 3-minute. Now we just need a 3-minute moon and trend. Right, so we have our moon, and we just don't have our trend here on the line here. So track LDO here, and what we're waiting for is for this to kind of like row down. Now overall, take a look, and the RSI here is going to have a pump here. So don't forget, we're waiting for a push up, and we're going to take that second move down. All right. So expect a push up, and you're looking for the best entry on that. So when this 1 hour makes its move up and starts to head back down, that's what you want to look for. So let me know when that 1 hour starts to come back down. All right, and we said
even if the region doesn't line up right.
okay. So here the 3-minute is always your entry, right? So when you say that to me, like when you say that, like even if the 3-minute doesn't line up,
Typically I'm looking for stuff like that, and then I'll find like so the RSI will be curling back down, but then I'll go look at the 3-minute, and the RSI is headed straight up, and it's on the bottom, right? So I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, then you wait.
And then by the time what?
Then you wait for the 3-minute to get into where it is. So the 3-minute entry never changes.
But my entries are just still too early and too late.
Yeah, the 3-minute is your entry, moon and trend, right? So RSI. Right, so every single time that the 3-minute never changes. You're gonna enter with a green moon, green trend, and that's your entry. That's why when you say like, well, even at the 3-minute is the entry. It has nothing to do with the trade, right? The trade has to develop first, right? So right now, if you're looking for an LDO trade, right, you need the 1 hour RSI to pump up and then start heading down again, right? Now once that happens, that is the trade that we're looking for. Now we need the 15-minute moon to be set in there, and a 15-minute trend to be set in, and the entry is always confirmed on the 3-minute. All right, boom. Okay.
Hey, I gotta step out. I got a doctor's appointment. What time will you be on later on today?
So we're just gonna track the market. So a little bit later in the afternoon. We're probably about the 6:37.
Alert in the chat then.
Yeah. 6:37. So that's where we're at. But right now, guys, everything later, brother. So right now, guys, everything is kind of like pumping. So all your shorts and everything that you're going to do, you have to be very patient with, right? RSI.
Find some longs.
Oh yeah, longs are everywhere. AVAX, right? We just did an AVAX long. We did 50% on AVAX. So everything's moving along, but
you lost 2 trades before that, but then you made the third one.
Yep. Because that's when I was talking to you, looking at the other sides. We were looking for the AVAX. So on those 2 trades, I just took back my money there. But I'm only doing 50% trades, so not tracking them all the way. But we knew that AVAX would be a long, so jumping in on those. So if you're in a trade and it doesn't go your way, just go back into, we know AVAX is going to run, right? So AVAX had that big pullback, which was an odd pullback at that time. This big candle came all the way back. And then we just bought that bottom of that candle again. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's all right to lose trades,
What about SUI on a long? The only thing that's not lining up is the 1 hour. Is a red moon still? It's not a green moon.
Yeah. Okay. So, so now you're looking here, right? So you have a red moon, red trend. It just went into a 1 hour green trend, right? There was a pullback on that green trend, right? Which is what you want to see, the pullback, and that gives you an idea like, all right, so let's build momentum. Now you have an idea where you've got a trend, you just need a moon, right? Now we just got to wait for the 1 hour moon to come in. So are you set on your 1 hour alerts for the 1 hour moon? So I'm going to put this on here. 1 hour Sue. Okay, we'll create that. So when we get the alert, we can take advantage of it, right? But Sue looks like a good long, right? So next, all you got to do is slide down to your 4 hour RSI. It's still pulling down a little there, so that's probably why you're not getting your moon. But the 2 hour is starting to bend, right? So Sue looks like in the future going to be a long.
Will we still look at the 4 hour stuff?
So, okay, look at this trade. Analyze it for me. Okay, look at Sue. What do you need?
Well, normally, so I haven't heard you mention the 4 hour in a while, so that's why I'm asking that question.
Yeah. No, walk me through the trade. So you look at Sue, and what do you have?
Back in the day, we looked at the 4 hour first, and then we looked at the 3 hour, and then the 2 hour.
Well, that's for right. But listen, what I'm saying to you. Look at the trade, and when you looked at it, you looked at a long position, right?
I did, yes.
Okay, right. So you're on point.
The RSI is coming up at the bottom on the 1 hour. It's starting to build volume on the 1 hour on the volume, but it's not quite a green moon yet.
Right.
And the green trend hit. And then I looked at the 15-minute, and the 15-minute is the only thing that I was questioning. Is why I was asking, because it's at the very top.
Yeah.
The RSI.
Yeah. So either way, so on this trade here, what do we need to do for it?
Well, it's definitely not time to enter the long position. I know that.
Right. So we're waiting on the 15-minute RSI.
But shouldn't you wait for the 15-minute to reset?
Well, yeah. Plus, I mean, the main trade is the alert on the 1 hour. So we still need.
By the time it resets, the 1 hour might be where you need to be.
Correct. So that's what you look at, and now you say, okay. Now the only reason why, once you have that evaluated, right? So now we know that we need the 15-minute to reset, which would probably bring us to where we get a 1 hour green moon, right? Now that we have that in our heads, that's our trade. Okay. Now we can go here and say, okay, how strong is this trade building up? So now we go look at the 2 hour, and we can see that the 2 hour is bending, right? See how the 2 hour money is starting to bend? That's a good sign that your ideal is probably correct. See?
The 2 hour money.
Yep.
On the volume is lifting up just a hair.
But it's pointed up. You see how it's up?
Yeah, but the RSI is going down though.
It's bending. See? Starting to make its curve. Do you see that? So this is going down. This is bending, right? So now it's starting to see how it's starting to. It just ticked to the right a little. You see? Now over here it goes straight down. When volume comes in heavy, it goes flat, right? This is volumes coming in. It's just not coming in as heavy as it was over here, right? But it's starting to trickle in, right? So that's just confirmation of what you're looking at is happening. So is Sue along? Yeah, Sue's going to be along on here as it moves, right? So you're in a good spot saying, okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. It looks like it wants to build up. Now, if you go to your 4 hour, right, you can see the 3 hours bending. Money's headed up. You go to your 4 hour, and all you're doing is confirming, like, okay, how strong is this move going to be, right? Maybe this is going to be a big move, right? But I can see on my 4 hour that my 4 hour still has a little bit of pull here. So Sue overall is probably going to be a good position to look at for the next 4 to 8 hours, maybe even 12 for long positions, right? And definitely after 12 hours, Sue's going to be in a position where when the 4 hour starts to head up, it's going to be, good positions in long. So overall, right now, if I'm starting to think of Sue as a long, I've got 12 hours where Sue could be a long. So all you're doing with the bigger time frames is confirming, how big of a move this is, right? So now you know that, okay, everything looks good. That makes sense. I'm waiting on my moon. But in reality, you also still have the 4 hour pulling down here. So there's all these things that are happening that, you have to take in consideration as you look at volume. But overall, the 1 hour and the 2 hour are saying that it's starting to slowly build momentum. So you look good. So the only thing you're really waiting here is you're waiting for that 15-minute to reset and you need to get to your green moon. So Sue looks like a long on the overall. So everything that you looked at is good. Confirmation on the 2 and the 4 is just an ideal of how long it could take. Now, because that 4 hour has time to go, this could pull back, even further and then go into the long. Right? So we might because of the 4 hour, this 1 hour moon might get rejected, come back down, right? You see the 1 hour? This could come back down and then go for the long. Right? So this is why for me I put this here. This just lets me know that for me I'm thinking that I'm going to come back here and retest a little bit lower and start thinking that it's going to be kind of like this move here. So there is a long coming. It just needs to fill out. So now once you set your alerts, you don't really have to worry about too much else. You just need to come back to it. So does look like a good trade. Oh, it's just going to take a little bit of time. Hmm. But that's just kind of like what you have as far as let's see.
Yeah, I'm just going to see if I can find another one.
Yeah. They're all. There's a lot of motion here, a lot of movement, right? So you just anytime there's big pumps, like let's say AVAX, right? So AVAX is in a position where it's trying to pump, but
Guys in the Discord all posted all these different forms all the time. They're like, long. Like, how the fuck did they even see that? Like, what? Like, by the time I see it, it's too late, So,
so are you?
I'm a little disillusioned, man.
Did you set your alerts on your 1 hour moons?
I have been, yes. Well, originally it wasn't moons. It was the
Trends.
RSI.
Right. We started trends last week. So for 6 weeks, we're doing 1 hour. We're doing the 1 hours. So for last week was setting on trends, right? So last week was setting on trends. This week we're setting on moons. So 1 hour trends we did last week. Now this week we're doing 1 hour moons. Right. So the RSIs are going to be, RSIs we'll be able to see once we get a moon alert. So set your alerts, right? I don't know if you have. Did Alf ever get you the indicators?
Don't even know which indicators there are anymore.
Yeah.
I have the QQE, X trend, and stochastic RSI, and to that I've also added fair value depths.
Yeah, go to your use your trend and then set the alerts on the trend for your go to the moon, go to your QQ and on the moons set alerts on the moons. And all you do
That's
is
what I've been doing. I click on
yeah. So when you
I click on alert.
yeah, so when you set your moon alerts, right? So you have to make sure that you put them on crossing. So right click, add alert, and then go down here. It says 3-minute crossing. Make sure it just goes to crossing period. and then 1 minute, and then set those on there.
That's what I started doing after a couple days ago.
Yeah, so we should just be on the moon side.
Set RSI.
Yeah. We're just rolling through. So we're going to spend the next 6 weeks just reviewing everything. All right, so let's take a look at Discord wise. All right, so right now we have FET on the 4-hour RSI oversold. Okay, so here APT 1 hour red trend. All right, so let's go take a look at APT. All right, so now his is not. He's not on our MEXC. He's not on futures. He's on Binance. So it's coming in a little bit early, right? So could take a second for that to kind of peel out. But we have a 1 hour APT oversold, right, on the RSI. I'm just going to take a quick peek at the 4 hour to see where it's at overall, and it looks like it's starting to top out. So a short here has pretty good ability. So now what I need to do here is on APT is I need to get to my 1 hour red moon and a 15-minute red moon, red trend pullback, right? So pullbacks always start with our 15-minute. Right now we have a 15-minute red moon, right? But we don't have that red 1 hour moon, right? So it looks like it's building up for a pullback here. So APT 1 hour. I'm going to set my alert on my moon because that's what I want to get into, 1 hour moon. And we're going to set it on crossing right there. I do it once per minute. I'm going to check this like this, and I'm going to do 1 hour moon. And there we go. So now I'm just waiting for the 1 hour moon on APT. So once I get that, I already have a 15-minute session in there. Let me get rid of, let's take a look at these alerts here. So ID FET 15-minute long. I'm going to remove that. 1 hour FET short. 15-minute ocean, I don't need. LDO, I have my 1 hour already. H bar, LDO 15, I don't need. AVAX 15. 1 hour wild. All right. So moons, right click, add alert, make sure it's on crossing, once per bar. Moon, enter, and there we go. So now I'm going to watch APT, which might take a little bit of time because it's on the regular Binance, but we're looking for this touch here. So all right, let's go back into Discord. Let's scroll up. Now, with this guy, you want to go in and take a look at the older one. So at 12 o'clock, an hour ago, LPT.
So you can go back that far?
Yeah, you go back up to 3-4 hours. All right, so let's go to LPT. And now you can see here we have our 1 hour moon. And now we have our 1 hour RSI hitting the bottom, right? So with LPT, we're going to let that 1 hour push back up. And then we'd be looking for a short at that time, right? Now, LPT, the last time this came in with the moon, RSI hit the bottom. We end up catching a green moon, and it went for a big run there, right? So same scenario could happen here, right? So slide over, 15-minute. Let's see what the 15-minute looks like. All right, so this one here, green moon, green trend, there's a push. And right now, LPT is sitting on a 15-minute green moon, but no trend, right? So we could be looking to play this 15-minute green trend into a long position, playing the 1 hour RSI back up while we're waiting on the pullback, right? All right. So walk you through that again, right? 1 hour. Okay, so we have a 1 hour moon. We had our pullback on the 1 hour RSI. Pushed back up, 1 hour green moon came in, there was a big push. Red moon just came in. That was that first pullback, and now the RSI is at the bottom. It just pushed up. This was the second pullback. But notice how these pullbacks on the RSI they're not that big, you see? Now, what that kind of tells you is that it has a lot of volume because it's not pulling back heavily. So this time the RSI comes to the bottom again. When this starts to move back up, we could get another push like we did here. If we get a green moon, we could end up with a big push on LPT, right? Now, that's what we're looking for is a 1 hour green moon, right, for a long position. And let me see if I got my LPT on here. So what I would do here is go here, add an alert, cross it over, 1 minute. Okay, moon, LPT 1 hour, create. So now I'm looking for the alert to go long here. I already know that my 15-minute would be a 15-minute moon and green trend. I have the moon. I just need the trend. So right now, LPT could be a long if we get the alert on the 1 hour. So heating up there. Let's see what else is on there. All right, anchor, 2 hour RSI, LPT, and what I'm looking for is, all right, ocean. Here's an ocean trend, 10:30 this morning. So you can go back about 4 to 5 hours, man. You can pull through there. But I'm looking for trends, right? So ocean has a green trend, right? So let's go to ocean. Ocean 1 hour green trend. Slide over to ocean, slide to my 1 hour. Let me take a look at it. And here you go. So ocean, a 1 hour green trend. Here's the moon. And it was already productive, 1 hour green trend. There's the pump. Now it had its first pullback. There's your moon, RSI to the bottom, and then you can see the 1 hour push. Now we can see here that we're missing the green moon. You see how it's not getting a green moon again, right? So now we could be in the scenario where we could basically be working into the red moon short, right? So what do we need here on ocean? All right. Okay, RSI pushing up. We wait for that to go down, slide over, and we need a 15-minute moon and trend, and that's where we're at right here. So right now we have a green moon. We need a 15-minute red moon. RSI is at the top. This looks really good for a short position. So ocean would be a short if you're looking for one here. You need your 15-minute green moon and trend popping in, which we're already in a trend, right? So here's your 15-minute, right? Red moon, red trend, green moon. So the only thing you need here is a red moon on the 15-minute. And because I'm going to do look for a quick short here, I need a 15-minute. I'm just going to put moon on here. It's going to be a 15-minute one.
You said an alert on the moon. You said?
Yeah, I'm setting it on the 15-minute moon because that's what I need for the short. So I'm waiting for the 15-minute on here, right? So when I go back to my 1 hour, right? I have my 1 hour moon, right? Pushed up. Here's your first short on the 1 hour. The RSI is pushing up, right? Which is what we just seen here. And now it's rejecting the green moon, right? Which would be the continuation of the long. It stops itself right there.
RSI is headed up.
Yeah. Am I in a trade?
You're still going to short it.
Am I in a trade right now?
No.
Right. So that does. So right now it doesn't matter until I get my 15-minute moon. See what I'm saying? So when
it doesn't matter to you, or the RSI is going up or down.
No, because I'm not in a trade yet. So my trade is going to be the 15-minute red moon. So when I get that trade, then I look at the RSI. Right? So the trade that we're waiting for, right? The trade that we're waiting for, right, is the 15-minute red moon, which we have, the push, and now the return down, right? So now this trade only basically, this is the trade. Now you need a validation. The validation is going to be when we get a 15-minute red moon, red trend, right? So until we get that there, I don't need to look at everything because it doesn't really matter right now. As soon as this red moon comes in, or I get an alert for a red moon, then I will look at the 1 hour RSI. But right now, who knows how long this 15-minute moon is going to take? Might not even come. But when this gets closer, right? When this starts to get a little closer, right? It's starting to look like it's heating up here. See how it's pulling back there? So now if I'm looking at my 1 hour, right? What's the most important thing on the 1 hour when you look at the 1 hour? So look at your 1 hour. What are we looking at? So we're waiting on our RSI, but what's more important than the RSI?
The moon, the trend,
The money.
the money. Okay.
So the money is going to lead the RSI. So once the RSI, see the money, once the money decides that it's coming down, that's going to confirm that the RSI is going to follow. Okay? See how the money's already bending there? See?
Yeah.
So that's already letting us know that it's getting weak here. All right? So all we need is confirmation. Confirmation is going to be the alert on the 15-minute. So far we don't have it, but that's the moon that we need, which looks like we're getting there. Now, if I looked at this, I had my 15-minute coming down, a 15-minute red moon heading my way, volume slowing down, 1 hour red moon. So it all looks like it's lining up, right? So what do I have? 1 hour red moon, first trade down, first pump. This looks like the second part, right? So 15-minute moon, there's the first move, there's the second move. I want to get this next move here, right? Which means volume needs to start to disappear on the money, which is happening. Now I need confirmation of the entry, which is going to be my 15-minute red moon. But what's my entry? My entry is 3-minute red moon, red trend. So if I go here and I take a look, what do I have? 3-minute red moon, 3-minute red trend. See how it just popped in there? So now the only thing I need here, if I'm looking to trade, is I need my RSI to push up one more on the 3-minute, and then I'd be looking to get into this short. So it's all lining up. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we just have to wait on that.
Yeah, I mean, so and sometimes it gets weaker, right? So we're already negative volume on the 3-minute, right? So this is where, when you start looking at the trade, you just need everything to be in your favor. So when most of the time when you're taking a trade, the RSI is against you. Right now, our 15 minutes at the top and the 1 hour is getting weak. So this is where we would be looking if you're entering a trade. This would be stuff in our favor, right? So now we just need to let this 3-minute RSI push up. And then we'd be looking to say, okay, this might be where we want to get in this trade. So here's our
So
push.
that 3-minute goes right back up all the way again.
Yeah. We haven't our alert. So we don't have the alert on the 15-minute yet. It's going off. So that needs to signal for us. But during that time, we're just looking at what's going to happen, right? So we're expecting this to bounce up. So now what I want you to do is every time that happens is go to your chart and say, okay, is this in my favor? So notice here, the first move came down, but notice how much money that came back in, right? So the trade that we're trying to get into actually has money in it, right? It's not like after the trade and there's a small trade and we're trying to trade in this area. We're trying to trade this bigger pullback, right? So there's more opportunity here. So just for you just want to start learning that where trades have more opportunity. You know what I mean? That's what we want. Because what's going to happen here is more than likely this is going to create a W trade here. It's going to come down, push up, come down, and then go on a run. All right, so that's kind of what it's forming there. So people who watch patterns and people who like chart patterns, you guys are probably looking here and going, oh, that's my W. Yeah, your W is going to come in here, right? So for us, we don't care about that. We just, here's your first move, push up, and now this is the second move, right? That's the move we're trying to catch. Right? We just need it to go. Now we don't know if it's going to be a shorter W here, right? or if it's going to take a little bit longer to develop to get the bigger W. But either way, we need a 15-minute moon, right? That's what we need. We already have a rejection here where it's going sideways, but this could still push up and reject again, right? So we're just waiting on the money to let us know it's on its way down. So it's all lining up, but the most important thing for you is to be a position where you can get in a trade that actually has potential to make money. All right, so right now, Ocean has potential to make money. And don't get caught in your mind where you're saying, okay, this is a short, right? Every trade goes two ways, long and short. While you're waiting for a short to happen, it could turn into a long. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So always keep in mind is that you're just running through the steps. Okay, I need this to do this. I need that to do that. But you don't have to overthink it. So right now, the only step that matters is a 15-minute red moon, the 3-minute RSI, right? So first things first is on this trade, we need the 3-minute RSI to push back up while we're waiting on the 15-minute. See what I'm saying? So while we're waiting on the moon, yeah, and while we're waiting on the 15-minute red moon, a 3-minute might come out of pocket, right? Which it just did. So now we have a 3-minute that has a green moon. So even if the 15-minute moon hit right now, we can't enter until this goes back to red. See? So a lot of times if you're waiting for a trade to happen, you set your alerts on what you need to happen, right? We already have a 1-hour red moon, so now we need a 15-minute red moon. So while that's happening, I don't have to watch anything except for the 3-minute. Because right now I have an alert set on the 15-minute, and now I'm waiting for the RSI on the 1-hour to come back down. So I got some time. So I have a 1-hour RSI, but that doesn't matter until I get a 15-minute moon, right? But that 15-minute moon doesn't matter until there's a 3-minute red moon, red trend. That makes sense? So I'm watching the thing that matters right now, which is the 3-minute red moon, red trend. When that happens, then I will move to my 15, you know what I mean? So once I get a 3-minute moon and trend, then I can go look and say, okay, where's my 15-minute moon? When that 15-minute moon comes in, then I look at my RSI. And if it all lines up, then we're in a good spot. Right? Right now, it's kind of like working its way through consolidation, which is okay. The higher it goes up here, the better our short will be. But it's looking like it's building in our favor.
Right.
But that's how you have to, don't overthink it. Just the steps are where you have to be. You need to get your steps down, right? So no matter what, you can't enter a trade unless there's a 3-minute red moon and red trend. Step one, right? Step two is the 15-minute red moon, red trend in our favor, or green trend, whatever you're doing. So it goes like this, right? First is a trade ideal, 1 hour, right? You need a 1-hour red moon, right? If you're doing shorts, you need a 1-hour red moon to consider a trade. Second part is 3-minute red moon, red trend, right? That's what you need to have to enter a trade, right? Negative volume, right? So far right now, we have a 3-minute green moon, green trend, but notice how we have green volume, see? So right now we have a 3-minute green volume, see? So right now it's heading towards a short, but it's not like it's a great short, right? It's still positive volume on the 3-minute. So far right now it's not in the greatest spot. So remember, volume is key.
Going back and forth between the two moons.
Yeah, but to me it's like this, right? At the end of the day, the one thing that I need for this to be a good short is I need negative volume on the 3-minute, right? Because a short is 3-minute negative volume, 15-minute negative volume, right? So far right now we're just kind of building, we're going sideways right now. Right, so is it building momentum my direction, or is it just going sideways until it builds momentum the other direction, right? So you're kind of caught in the middle right here. So all you can do is set your alert. So we put a 15-minute moon alert because that's the next step, right? So if I'm looking at this trade, it's kind of like working its way through the process. And that's kind of where we're at there. So ocean will be where once we get a 15-minute moon alert, we can come back in. All right, so now let's go back into Discord and let's see what else we have. So we have a Loom 1 hour green trend, right? So let's go look at Loom real quick. And then once you run through the coins over the last 6-7 hours, and you're really just looking for trends, right? That'll get you where you can see where you're at that time. So here we go. So Loom, we go to the 1 hour. What trade do we have, right? So this first thing is the 1 hour trade, right? So we slide here, we look at our 1 hour, and what we're looking for here is what trade do we have on Loom right now, right? So currently, Loom has a red moon, which we already seen there was a pullback. So this looks just like Ocean. So Loom had a pullback. Now it's bouncing, right? And now we're in the same scenario. We're expecting the bounce to come in. We're expecting a short to happen. And then after that short, then you're looking for the W again. So what do you have? You have another W pattern here. All right, same shit. So when you hear people talk about W patterns, this is exactly it. So for us, it's very simple. Red moon, right? Here's the red moon comes in. What do we have? RSI at the top. There you go. If we caught this earlier, we would have went to the 15-minute moon right here, 15-minute trend right there, and we would have walked away with a quick move to 1%. Now, to me, I don't know if I like Loom. I'm going to measure it real quick because that should have been a way more profit. So the check profits is you go to your 3-minute, and we might remove Loom from the list. But all right, so what I'm looking for is how often does a 3-minute trend produce money, right? Or like a pullback. So this pullback was here. This is about 5%. Let me see here. Now this looks like a really good pullback, but it was only 1%, right? So Loom wouldn't be a coin I would trade. All right, because you look see how many candles, 3-minute candles it took to make money. 3, 6, 9, 12. I mean, that's like 2 hours for this to make 1%. It's terrible. All right, so this would be a coin I would take off my list. I wouldn't trade Loom, right? So Loom is kind of like that. So then I'll take a look and say, all right, let's say that we have 3-minute entries, trends. We go on a 3-minute run. I mean, that's only 2%. This is a terrible coin, right? So when I see a coin like that, I'll go here and I'll reply and I'll say at Alf, remove Loom. Terrible percents. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, Wild, 1 hour red trend, right? So let's go look at Wild. That was today at 128. Was that today? Nah. All right. Oh yeah, Wild just popped up. Yeah. So here's Wild. Here's 1 hour ape red trend. So we got to look at 1 hour ape real quick, and we got to look at Wild. So Wild had a red trend right here, and then just switched to a green trend. So it's kind of like going back and forth. So let's start with ape real quick, just to get it out of the way. And there we go. And what did Ape say? Ape said a 1 hour red trend, right? So let's go to Ape. We're going to look at the 1 hour. Don't forget now, these indicators are set on regular, they're not set on MEXC, so it'll be a little different what you see. So we have a 1 hour red trend coming in, right? So now we slide here. The only thing that we want to do is we want to catch this 1 hour moon on Ape, right? So trend is great. Everything's set up. Let's go to 1 hour here. Slide in.
What did you say about the indicators? What now?
So he has the alerts set on Binance, regular trading. So they need to be set on ALF. So when he went through and
how did he mess with my indicators? I don't understand.
no, the alerts.
Oh, inside the Discord?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you see the alert popped up for Ape, 1 hour red trend, right? But that's set on regular trading. It's not set on futures. All right, so now let's go to wild, right?
Gotcha.
So which means ape has a short coming up, right? So wild. All right, so now we go to wild. This one's a little more active here. Here we already have our 1 hour moon. There's our pullback. Here's your RSI at the bottom. Now notice with wild is saying there's going to be a 1 hour green trend, right? So now we go to wild and you can see that, basically what it's doing, it's telling you that it's building momentum, right? So it's getting green trend here. Already has a green trend. So what we're looking for here is the wild 1 hour moon, right? So I don't know if I have a 1 hour moon already set on wild, but wild would be, yeah, here we go. 1 hour,
I don't see the moon indicators anymore, alerts like they used to show. Alpha doesn't have those anymore in there.
Yeah, because we were working on the RSIs. So that's what, for you guys, you need to start setting your moon alerts, and then we'll make adjustments in the alerts. So right now we're looking at RSIs.
Red moon and it used to say red moon and green moon a couple months ago. That just went away or something.
Yeah, we took them off. So right now, what we've been doing for the last week, we've been working on RSIs. So now as we move forward, this next week you'll see moons come in, right? But you guys need to be when you're tracking a coin, you need to be putting your moon alerts on. All right, trends, when the trend alert comes in, right? So you see how it says trend? The trend alert is going to let you know ahead of time, but you need to be putting your moon alerts on there. So right now we're tracking RSIs and trends. All right, because we can only put, we have about 500 alerts, so we can only put so many alerts that are active on there. So right now they're moons and trends, or trends and RSIs. All right, so right now you got wild talking about a green trend, right? So this is what we're talking about. We're expecting the bounce. So here's where we are again. Now what you would be doing is setting your wild 1 hour moon, which I have here. And all I'm waiting for is the 1 hour moon alert for wild to go into the other direction. So that's kind of like on those. But yeah, as far as like shorts, I would watch near protocol. Let's see where this is at here. I'd be looking near protocol, ALX, Solana, for that. If you guys are looking for longs,
what about FTM?
Phantom? Yeah, so Phantom. Yeah, you could be shorting Phantom. So I'd be looking at all those for that. If you're looking for longs right now, where the market is still moving up over the next couple hours, probably about 2 hours. So I would look for shorts after about 6:30. So about 4 hours from now. So right now, longs, I'd be looking at HNT, Beam, Render. I'd be looking at those guys for longs right now. But you just want to be setting your moon. So far we're kind of in there. So I'm going to pop back on about 6 o'clock, and then we're going to go into the second part of the market.
Doing some last minute Christmas shopping, man.
Yeah, holidays. Yeah. So just watch there. Just kind of post what you see, throwbacks to when the short is sold down. Yeah. I love those days. All right, yeah, so we'll be back on there, man. But we just want to get to the point where right now we're just setting the alerts properly, getting all that in there so we can. I'm not too worried right now about the market. It's pumping and dumping right now, but when volume comes in over the next week, and so the next 4 or 5 weeks are going to be big weeks to trade. So right after January, there'll be big time. So right now, we just got to get to where you guys are setting alerts, and you're just walking through a 1, 2, 3 step system over and over and over, and you're not